Donald Trump's landslide election victory was certified today by none other than Kamala Harris. Let's take a look at how 2025 is going so far for the once presidential hopeful. So far in 2025, Kamala Harris has forgotten the words to the Pledge of Allegiance, and she has had to certify her own presidential election loss to Donald Trump on January 6th of all days. So it's not going as swimmingly as the vice president had hoped for. She now becomes the first woman in history to have to certify her own loss. Also, first person of color to have to certify her own election loss. And so you saw a lot of facial expressions from Kamala Harris today. She looked very sad at times. She looked a little angry at times. But we didn't see that cockiness, those facial expressions that we remember from debate night with all the poses that she had and all of this that was going on. We didn't see any of that from Vice President Kamala Harris today. And of course, you know, it happening on January 6th, it's like just taking a look back 4 years ago. From January 6th, what they called an insurrection, the Democrats have been touting this thing for years. Now, on January 6th, 2021, it seemed like Donald Trump's political career was going to be over. That is the way the mainstream media framed it. He'll never be elected to office again. They worked overtime to pin an insurrection. Even though Donald Trump was never charged of an insurrection, they did their best to charge him in the media with an insurrection, even though we all remember his words on that day, march peacefully and patriotically down to the Capitol to make your voices heard. But it doesn't matter to them. They had their narrative, and they have gone with it for 4 years. And so when it looked like President Donald Trump was down and out, and they ran this January 6th thing on him, they had a January 6th committee. They had all kinds of charges against President Donald Trump. They arrested him, raided his home. He was almost taken out twice. All the things that he had to overcome. And now, triumphantly, on January 6th of 2025, his victory, his landslide victory in the presidential election is certified by his opponent, Kamala Harris, on January 6th. Not only that, he is going back to the White House with full control of the Senate and the House. It could not be a more glorious victory for President Donald Trump and complete vindication. And you know what? The golden age starts today. The golden age starts now. It's time to make America great again, and Donald Trump's going to definitely deliver on so many of these promises. But just to give you a taste, the Democrats, I would imagine over on that Blue Sky app, they have got to be crying in their soup today because it's got to be demoralizing. It has got to be demoralizing to be a Democrat or one of these wacky liberals today who seriously thought Donald Trump was going to go to prison, who seriously thought Donald Trump was never going to be in politics again. They thought it was all over. I mean, they've been thinking that since the Russia collusion when they were the election deniers back in 2016 and told you that Donald Trump didn't win it legitimately. That was when President Joe Biden had to certify Donald Trump's election win. So the two people who have had to certify Donald Trump's election victories are none other than Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. All right, so how about that for irony? But back then, the election deniers were saying Donald Trump didn't even win the election. And so all the way we had the Mueller report. Mueller is coming. The walls are closing in. We heard that for 4 years of his presidency, and they all figured down and out, Donald Trump is done, and now here he is again on January 6th having his election results certified by Kamala Harris. But just to give you a taste of how bitter the Democrats are, here's this Sonny Houston on The View today, this morning, comparing January 6th of 2021 to World War II, the Holocaust, and slavery. Take a listen.
You know, we need to move on from January 6th. I say no. You don't move on because January 6th was an atrocity. It was one of the worst moments in American history. And when you think about the worst moments in American history, like World War II, things that happened, like the Holocaust, chattel slavery. We need to never forget.
Just to show you that these people are living in an alternate reality. It's a slap in the face to any World War II veteran that we still have alive in this country, any family member that lost somebody in World War II, basically anybody that knows somebody that served in World War II, it's a slap in their face. Same thing to any Holocaust survivors or victims. It's a slap in your face. And so they don't care about that. It's about pushing that narrative. They tried for 4 years to push the narrative. It failed. Nobody bought what they were selling. Donald Trump won a landslide victory. Today, they certified 312 votes for Donald Trump, electoral votes to 226 for Kamala Harris. So a complete annihilation of Kamala Harris, and I think her political career is finished. She's the one that nobody wanted. Nobody voted for this woman. We all know it. She was such a horrible, she's got to be the worst. I mean, we know possibly worst vice president, but has to be one of the worst, if not the worst, presidential candidate of all time. I mean, and they really, I think her own party kind of hung her out to dry there because nobody who's going to plan to run in 2028, like the big names, I guess you would say, is like a Gavin Newsom or maybe even Josh Shapiro. I don't know who they come up with in 2028, but anybody that has presidential hopes was not going to risk that and throw it all away on a short notice of like 6 months to try to throw together a presidential campaign to go up against a juggernaut like President Donald Trump. Why do that? It would be a political disaster for them, and they knew it. So anybody that really had high hopes of running for president was not going to really want to do it. I think that's kind of why they all went along with just, let Kamala run. She's the candidate. They did Joe Biden dirty. They forced that guy out. He swore up and down he was going to. Anyway, this is all over now. This is all in the past. We are going to move forward right now. We have got the momentum. As I said, we have the House, we have the Senate. Donald Trump's got the mandate from the American people, and it's just time to tune out the noise of these people and the left-wing media and all these people. Cry all you want now. It's time to move forward. We have the ball. We want to go on offense. We don't want to see any roadblocks here from our own party. We don't want any blue on blue, in a sense. We don't need any more of this. So we need to see people getting on board in the House and the Senate to pass through Donald Trump's agenda. And if we could do that, we can easily make this country great again. It will be difficult. It's not going to be easy, but it's possible. We have all the pieces in place, so optimism is high. Going in here now as we go January 20th, the next big day, we're going to have Donald Trump's inauguration. I will be down there for that, so make sure you tune in. I will also be down there on January 14th next week for Pete Hegseth's confirmation hearings. I'll be down there with the Navy SEALs as they show their support, and we want to see the Senate pass through all of these nominations from Donald Trump. No time to play around here. It's time to get stuff done. And so I think we will see that now. One last note on this election certification day here. What a horrible image that we got of Nancy Pelosi walking around the House floor using a walker, right? There's the video of it. Here's the picture of it. I mean, this is a disgrace. This is not what the Founding Fathers had in mind for this country. We remember recently the picture here of Mitch McConnell being pushed around the floor in a wheelchair. And now you have Nancy Pelosi walking around in a walker. These people are holding on to power with every last breath in their body. It's time to hang it up. We need to have term limits put into place immediately. I think both sides of the aisle agree on this. We're tired of seeing this stuff. We've seen it time and time again. These people are holding on to power with like a death grip. It's like, let it go. It's over. So hopefully we'll see some changes happen with that. But man, what a day it is to rejoice, be happy, and optimistic for America. Donald Trump gets his election certified by none other than Kamala Harris, whose political career goes down in flames. She has to stand there. Looks like she has tears in her eyes. Mike Johnson giving her those side eyes and the clap. We remember Nancy Pelosi with her little golf clap, right, when she tore up the State of the Union speech from Donald Trump. How the tide has turned here. And the Democrats sitting there in the House totally defeated and demoralized. You love to see it. And it's time now, like I said, the golden age is upon us here. We have everything to save America. All the pieces are in place. Let's go get it. We need to show our support for Donald Trump. If you're going to be down there on his inauguration day, be safe, be patriotic, and have some fun. If you're not, follow me on the Alec Lay Show because I'll be bringing you all the action while I'm down there.
You're listening to the Alec Lay Show. The future is family.